So welcome to Module 15. In this module, I want to talk about one of the crucial factors in the cost to sell on Amazon, and that's your fulfillment fees. You see, Amazon will store all your products in their warehouses for you, and then they're going to charge you a fee for the storage, and they're going to charge you a fee to actually ship it out. And these fees can make or break you, especially if you're working on small margins. Now, the beauty about selling through FBA is their shipping fees are just hands down some of the cheapest in the business. Unless you have something that's super small, like under 10 ounces, the fees that they charge, you can't beat them. It doesn't matter where you go to any of these outside services or outside shipping companies. It doesn't matter how big your company is and how many discounts you've negotiated with UPS or with USPS or FedEx or whoever. Chances are you're not going to be able to beat the fees that Amazon can ship stuff for. It's incredibly cheap. Not only when you actually ship things into Amazon as a seller, you get to use some really discounted rates, but also when Amazon ships stuff out for you to your customers. But these fees can make or break you, because if you don't know the exact parameters here, it can actually make a huge difference in your product. Now, Amazon has their fees set up to charge different rates depending on the time of year. From January to September, there's one set of fees, and from October to December, the fourth quarter, the busy time of year, there's another set of fees. Typically, sales go up on Amazon in the fourth quarter about 4x on average. Now, when you use the X-ray tool, or actually one of the tools from the profit calculator from Helium 10, the extension that we'll be talking about in an upcoming module, we'll walk you through all the different tools that Helium 10 has. I'll be with Bradley Sutton on that, and we'll go through all the different tools. One of those tools is a Chrome extension, and that once you install it, it actually gives you what's called a profitability calculator. So you can get an estimate on how much things are going to cost you to sell on Amazon. And when you look down at the very bottom of that profitability calculator, they will actually show you the estimated fees, and they'll break it down into the January to September period and also the October to December period. And what I always do when I'm basing all my calculations is I ignore that January to September, because it's always cheaper. I always look at what's going to be the most expensive thing, and that's what I base all my decisions on. Now, these fees, when you're can add up to a lot. So if you look in the handouts here, there's actually a handouts that will actually show you all the different sizes. Amazon has what's called a small standard size, a small large size, a large standard size, a large oversized, and all these different things. If you look in the handouts, it'll break it down. It'll show you the exact dimensions and the exact weights and everything for each of those categories. So you can get an idea when you're sourcing that you want to stay within a certain range, because just 1 ounce over can put you into the next tier. And that next tier could cost you an extra $2 or $3 per unit, or maybe even more. Now, in addition to the fees that Amazon charges to store and ship your items, they also have a commission fee. And so this depends on the category you're selling in, but it's based on the actual price the customer pays. People always ask me, Kevin, the fee, is it based on my suggested retail price? Is it based on my sale price? What if I'm doing a coupon code and I'm giving people 50% discount on it? What's it based on? It's based on the price the customer pays. So if your item is normally $20 and for some reason you're giving everybody a $10 discount, you're going to pay a commission based on the $10 the customer paid. And that commission is going to be anywhere between 7 and 15%. Depends on the category you're in, but it's about a 7 or 15% commission. And that's on top of the actual fees that they charge you to actually send it out. And now they charge you fees to send it out, and they also charge you monthly storage fees. Amazon doesn't want to be a warehouse. In the past, a lot of people would use them as a warehouse. They would order 5,000 units, knowing that they're selling like 1,000 per month, and they would send them all into Amazon. And Amazon would store these things. And Amazon, their warehouses became more bloated. And they're like, look, we don't want to be a warehouse. We're a fulfillment center. So we'd rather have like a month or 2 months worth of inventory on hand, and that's it. We want you to keep feeding us, almost like a just-in-time thing. And so that's why a lot of people use what's called 3PLs. Remember, we talked about that in one of the earlier modules, where if you're ordering 5,000 something, but you know you're only going to sell 1,000 a month, instead of sending all 5,000 into Amazon, you send 5,000 to the 3PL. The 3PL stores them, and on some sort of interval that you set based on the demand and the sales on Amazon, maybe it's 1,000 a month or whatever it is, you're sending 1,000 a month into Amazon. The 3PL will charge you a much lower storage fee than what Amazon will. But Amazon charges you a higher fee on purpose because they don't want to be a warehouse. They want to be a fulfillment center. And so that's something you got to keep in mind too. And so when you're looking at these fees, one of the crucial things you got to make sure you remember is the sizes. When you're looking at the handout there, the sizes are with the packaging. It's not the actual products. However your product is packaging, whatever the packaging is. It's not just the packaging or the box that you get from China, but it's also the packaging that Amazon has to put it in. So this is a major mistake a lot of people make is they find a product, say in China, and it's 15 ounces. And they're like, okay, this is a small standard size. It's 15 ounces and say it weighs a pound. They look at and they base all their calculations on small standard size, and I don't know what the fee is for that, but say it's $2.20. And that's what they base their calculations on. Well, then Amazon, when they start looking at the reports later on, they notice that Amazon's charging them $4.06. They're like, wait a second, why? I'm looking at the charts here. This is for the next size up. It's because you have to add at least 4 ounces for the Amazon packaging. So the little box that has a little smile on it and a little bubbles in there, that counts too. So a lot of people don't add that 4 ounces actually in. So really, if you're going to be in that small standard size, you need to be 12 ounces or less, not the 16 ounces that the chart says, because the 16 ounces includes roughly 4 ounces for the box and packing material. Usually the bigger the size, the higher the fee. And it's based on dimensional weight as well. So it's based on how much space it takes in the warehouse. So you could have a small thing that's kind of light, a small thing that's kind of heavy that actually might cost less to ship than something that's big and bulky and could be light. So it's based on dimensional size. Now the other thing is Amazon will penalize you if you keep stuff in their warehouse too long. They have the major penalty comes every 6 months. It comes in February and in August. And for whatever you have sitting in the warehouse that's past a certain limit, that's been there sitting there for a long time, the rules on this change periodically, but usually it's about 180 days or more that's been sitting there. They will actually charge you like a hefty fee, like 4 times the normal amount. It's like a penalty. They're like saying, get this stuff out of our warehouse. And so if you have that happening, you want to make sure you either pull that stuff out or you do some sales, some lightning deals, or some other kind of promotions to try to get rid of that stuff so you don't get hit with those fees. Because I know people that are getting hit with like $20,000 of fees on this special fee. It can be really, really bad. The other thing Amazon does is now you have an inventory performance score. And if this score, you can see this in your dashboard, if it goes below 350, you're going to get penalized, and Amazon's going to restrict how much you can send in. So you want to make sure you monitor that score, and it's based on how good you are at managing your inventory on Amazon. And if you're not very good at it, and you got a bunch of stuff that's kind of just sitting there gathering dust, they're going to penalize you, and you're going to be restricted on how much you can send in. Normally, when you first start out, if it's an oversized large item, they don't let you send in more than 500 at a time. And that can go up after you prove that you can sell them. You can request an extension, a raise on that, and sometimes they'll raise that. The smaller stuff, they usually let you store several thousand, and then it keeps raising over time. Like in my case, I can store like 6 million of the small stuff, but I'm still restricted on large stuff to like 2,500. And so it just depends on your past history and things like that. But if that score goes below 350, which means I haven't done a good job at managing my inventory, then Amazon will actually penalize me, and those numbers will cut way back, and they'll start restricting what I can send in. And sometimes if you have too much stuff sitting there and you try to send in more, they'll actually say, sorry, we already have enough of this sitting here at Amazon. You're not allowed to send in anymore. So it's a big issue, and you got to really stay on top of that. But take a look at the PDFs that are in here in this issue, in this module, and you can download. You can see the exact size and the requirements. And just keep those in mind when you're actually sourcing products. You want to make sure that sometimes just a small adjustment in packaging, maybe telling your manufacturer, can we shave an 1/8 of an inch off of the packaging box, can make a huge difference in your profits and your margins on fulfilling on Amazon. It's a very important thing to pay attention to. So keep that in mind as you're starting to look for products. And hopefully this has helped you out a little bit, and we'll see you in the next module.